What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon to you over in London, good evening to those in Tokyo. It is Monday, May 29th, 7 a.m. New York time, and we are back at it at Venator Trading. So, welcome to the stream. Picked up some new followers over the weekend after getting knocking out our phase 1 and phase 2. So yeah, happy to have you guys here. Always jump in the chat and say hi, ask any questions you have. I try to answer as many as I can as we go along. So we are officially funded. Well, I take that back. We're not officially funded because I still haven't gotten my credentials from Bespoke, which I'm a little, I don't know if I'd say I'm upset about it, but I'm a little surprised that it's taken this long. However, I will give them the benefit of the doubt. It is a holiday weekend. I passed on Friday morning, late Friday morning. So, and in their terms of service, it says that they take 24 to 48 hours. I got a hair in my mouth. They take 24 to 48 hours to process new accounts, funded accounts, and they use Deal, which is what a lot of people use to do their payouts through Deal. A lot of these prop firms. So I got my Deal verified yesterday. That email finally came through, set up the whole account, uploaded my KYC documents, and got an email saying, hey, your account's been verified through Deal. But I haven't heard anything from Bespoke since then, and it's going on almost 24 hours since I've done all that with Deal. So I'm actually still waiting on my 10K funded account credentials. So maybe they'll come in sometime during this live stream. I would really like to get it today because it's a 14-day payout window to the first payout. And so I'd like to get that clock ticking today. And that means if I don't find a good setup, I'll just take a micro lot trade so that at least I can start the clock ticking from I've taken my first official trade. So we'll see how that goes. But hey guys, welcome in. ICT Concepts, Davis, how you guys doing? Welcome to the stream, man. So it is a holiday weekend, Memorial Day. The banks are closed in the UK and in the States. So I don't know how much is going to happen here. Quite honestly, I you just never know. Hey, what's up? I'm going to butcher some of y'all's names and handles in here. So you'll have to forgive my Texan English, but Tulu, Mapanya. What's up, man? And if you want me to call you by a different name, just put it in the chat. 6%. Excuse me here. I have a 6% phase 1. I need your help. Tilo. Davis, I don't know what to help you with exactly. That's a little vague. Is it a challenge? You need to get 6%. You're 6% in drawdown. I'm not exactly sure what you're asking for there, buddy. But anyway, man, I'm excited about taking this 10K all the way to 2 million. Let me lay out a little bit how we do it here. So My trading plan revolves around 1 to 2 risk reward. Now, if you've been following my tweets this weekend, I've been saying 1 to 2 risk reward, 50% win rate, never look back. And that's true. But what people, and I was getting some heat from a couple people about, man, you're doing 2%, you're doing 2%. How can you be comfortable with 2%? Well, number one, I don't trade every freaking day. That's why most of you are passing these challenges, because you're in here taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades a day. And that's not how you do it. You're not going to find that many A+ setups. That's all you want to take is A+ setups. That's it. A+ setups only. So, with a 50% win rate, only taking A+ setups, you're going to be just fine. But here's the thing. I am better than 50% win rate on a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio on A+ setups. So, that's all you need. And that's what we go for in here. I'm looking for the low-hanging fruit. I want to get those nice juicy apples right on those lower bottom branches. I can just reach up, just pluck it right off and eat. And then wait until I see another juicy apple hanging low, reach up and take it off. And that's all you have to do. You guys have got to learn that you cannot rush this process. If you want to pass these challenges, you have got to take fewer trades. You have to sit and watch and wait, and it's boring. It's boring. And you get these itches to jump in as soon as you sit down at the charts and just start gambling. And this is not a gambling business. I mean, you can make it a gambling business, but you're going to suck at it and you're just going to lose all your money. So stop doing that. Target is 9%. You're in 6% profit. Way to go, man. 6% profit. That's fantastic. Hopefully you're with a no time limit firm so that you don't have a deadline to hit. Target is 9%. What prop firm has a 9% profit target? I don't think I've ever heard of one of the, I guess, most well-known prop firms having a 9% profit target. You're going to have to help me out with that, because I don't know what that, I don't know what prop firm that is. Maven Trading. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're like really brand new. Was this weren't they running a big old like huge discount on their 10K or 5K or something? Is that is it one of those accounts? Hey, Mr. Spider, what's up, man? Or ma'am, I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to tell from your name. Welcome into the stream. So yeah, guys, we're gonna sit here and look. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay on this morning. It is a holiday in the UK and in the States. The banks are closed today. I don't know how much price action we're gonna see, but I'm gonna do some analysis for you and just kind of look ahead to the week and see what I see. And I'm just gonna kind of break down where we came from last week and how we identified the move up, and what we can kind of expect to see now heading into the end of May and then starting June, halfway through this week. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the world around us with the debt ceiling talks here in the States. It appears that the president and the Speaker of the House have reached a deal on paper to raise the debt ceiling limit. And no one's real happy about it on either side, because nobody's getting what they want. And ultimately, no matter what happens, American people are not going to be winners in this. They never are with politicians. They're never winners. It doesn't matter who's in power, who's making decisions. It's all about them staying in power and not about helping us. And not to be cynical, but that's the reality of how government works. So, but all that is going to affect volatility. All of that's going to affect how the market plays out, how price is going to print and deliver. So we're going to start here on our dollar chart. Let me see. I saw some chat stuff pop in here. Giveaway. They have a balance-based drawdown. Cool. Man, for you to be up 6% after winning an account, a free account, you're one of the few that I've heard that have actually done anything with a free account. The statistics say that most of these people get free accounts and they just run in and they just, because there's no skin in the game, they just start gambling and they end up blowing those accounts just within a day or two. Because they don't approach trading like a business. They treat it like a slot machine. And if you're going to be the gambler, you're going to lose. But if you're going to be the casino, you're going to win. A casino has the edge. And to be a profitable trader, you have to trade like a casino. You have to understand your edge, and you have to take and participate in every setup where your edge is present. If you skip out on some, you're lowering your edge. That's why I take every A+ setup I can find. We'll stick around here, Davis, because, you know, you might learn something and you might find out. I don't know what your trading system is. I'm not here to teach a trading system. I'm not here to teach a strategy. I'm here to teach how you can get funded and snowball a small account into a very large 6 or 7 figure funded account. Now, if you watch my stream and you stick around here for a little while, you're going to understand what my trading strategy is and why I take the trades that I do. But if that's not your system, that's okay. I'm not here to convince you that my system is better than your system or any other system out there. I trade ICT concepts. I trade liquidity grabs. I trade then that move in the direction of my overall bias away from the liquidity grab with displacement, leaving a fair value gap behind inside of a breaker or around a breaker block. I will trade breaker blocks occasionally, but I just wait for my A+ setups. And so that's why I'm here, is to show people who are having struggle passing these challenges how to do it. Because guys, I've failed over 30 challenges. I have spent thousands in the last three or 4 years, thousands of dollars trying to do this. And it's only been in the last year that I have really fixed myself and really understood finally what it means to be a professional trader and how a professional trader trades. And it's really more about you than it is about your strategy when you sit down at the markets. So, hey, good morning, Ahmad. Welcome back, man. Good to see you back in here. Corey, hey, man. OG Corey. Corey's been here from almost day one, so welcome, Corey. Yeah, we got more viewers today. It's funny when you can show credibility online. People will want to know what you're doing. And so we streamed for over 2 weeks with basically 1 or 2 people watching this thing, mostly me and Corey in here every day by ourselves. I was completely transparent. Every trade, called it here or on Twitter. And then over the weekend, I went from having, I want to say, I think Friday morning I started with 70 Twitter followers. And this morning we're at like 230. So more than doubled on Twitter. And YouTube subscribers, we went from like 20 subscribers last week to I think we're over 100 right now. So I'm glad they're all here. The point of me doing this is to help people to figure out this game. I wish I had someone sitting here on YouTube where I didn't have to pay $150 a month to get into a private Discord or Telegram. I don't have anything against those things, but most of the people who are out here trying to pass challenges, it's not helpful, and they just see their money going to waste every month. There's not anyone in there doing live trading most of the time. They might post screenshots and they get in the chat and talk. But sitting here every day in the markets, reading tape, sitting here every day, because that's what all these people that are trying to pass challenges are doing. They're waking up and sitting at their charts every day trying to figure out how to do this. And to have someone who has been where they've been, failed probably more than most of them have, and then been able to find profitability and success in this. I'm tired of seeing this whole stat of 90% of traders fail challenges. Only 3 to 5% reach a payout. If I can bump that up by 1% or 2% because of people sitting here watching, then that will make me super happy. I'm not selling anything. I'm just sitting here showing you how I do this and showing you how it's possible. And as far as I know, I don't think I've seen anyone document live every day on YouTube the process from going from a 10K funded account that cost $100 and growing that to a max funded account. So we'll see how that goes. What's A plus setup? Yeah, Corey, when you were here, man, it was me, you, and what was the other guy that was in here? He was from London. Muhammad, I think was his name, but he hasn't been back around. So I guess he got bored. I'll go over an A plus setup here, and you're gonna see him. If you watch this stream, I promise you, you're only gonna see me take A plus setups. So you'll see him, but we'll explain it all. Yeah, they don't do live trading because they're scared. I think ultimately they're scared, and it's a healthy fear, because if your whole business model is to try to get people to pay you to coach them and mentor them, and you get online and for whatever reason you fail and you lose, and they all lose because you lose, your business model kind of goes out the window, and people will leave your paid group. And so it's easier to not trade live. But I'm not selling anything. So I don't care if I have 0 viewers. I don't care if I fail in front of you all. I don't care if y'all stop watching my stream, because I'm just doing this for myself and for the ones that want to stick around long term and actually grow. So for phase 1 and phase 2, we had 13 trading days. So that's 2.5 calendar weeks, because there's only 5 trading days in a week. And so we took 10 trades in 2.5 weeks. Some of y'all take 10 trades in about 3 days. We took 10 trades. We only lost 1 trade in 2.5 weeks. It's all on the playlist. I'm going to start a new playlist today, but the playlist on YouTube right now, the 10K to 2 million funding challenge, phase 1 and phase 2, it's all 13 videos in there. You can go see every bit of it. But today we're going to start a new playlist. So this will be 10K funded playlist until we get to our first payout. And we'll see how that goes. And hopefully we make enough money that we can buy a larger account than a 10K. I would really like to buy 100K, but it just depends on how we do and how trading goes. But the goal here is to get to a payout, get my refund, and bare minimum buy another 10K account because I'll get my refund back. But hopefully be able to buy a much larger account. That's how the snowball keeps going here, and that's what I hope to show you. So, hey, Michael, thanks, man. Doing a great job. Welcome in. I'm going to do these live streams until I get to 2 million funding. And then we'll see. I don't know. Then we'll see. I hope to do it by the end of the year, but it may take longer than by the end of the year. But we'll just have to watch and wait and see what's going to happen. Because the only thing, and here's what I'm telling you, the only thing I'm going to sell, and I haven't even decided if I'm going to sell it, is I'm writing a book right now on my journey, a little bit of my journey, my personal story, but ultimately what I'm doing right here in a book about how you can take a $100 investment on a 10K account and step by step walk you through from beginning to end how to grow to a $2 million or how to grow to max funding on whatever firm it is that you're doing. In this case, I'm using Bespoke Funding, and their max allocation on a 2-step challenge is $2 million. I believe they offer $4 million max, but that includes $2 million on a 1-step challenge. And I have no interest in doing a 1-step challenge. So I'm working on that book. I'm almost done with it. So that may come out. I may just give it away. I don't know. Well, I hope people will learn a lot, Spider. Hey, Corey. Wait, I thought your birthday was last week. Oh no, I think you said it was was going to be your birthday this week. And happy birthday, Corey, man. Big 2-0. I've said it many times, Corey. I wish I had started this when I was 20. I wish I would have started this when I was 20. And, man, I hope you have a great day. Hope it's your best year yet. Hey, just a usually guy. I guess that's it. My problem is that when I buy a funded challenge, I want to pass it as fast as possible. Been there. And also in one trade only. Been there. And when I'm on a trade and profit, I close it early based on emotions. Also been there. You just described every single new trader who wants to pass a challenge. That's the literal description of every single trader who keeps failing these challenges. They want to get in, pass it quick, get to those profits as fast as they can. And then I'll be self-disciplined. Then I'm going to trade it like it's really meant to be traded. Recipe for disaster, brother. You have got to stop doing that. I've said this so many times. Your biggest problems are not your strategies. It's you. Go look in the mirror to see where the issue is. Even if you fail, it don't matter. Makes me stand out. I mean, I don't want to fail. I'm not going to try to fail. I'm hopeful to be successful, and I'm hoping to show some of you guys and bring some of you guys along with me and get you funded and show you how this can happen and get you over some of those bad habits that are keeping you down. Yep, exactly right, Andrew. It's all about psychology, man. You learn more about yourself doing this than you do anything else in life that I've experienced so far. Well, I take that back. Probably marriage and parenting. You learn a lot about yourself and marriage and parenting as well. But from a business standpoint, that has nothing to do with anybody else. There's nothing else in life that will teach you more about yourself, your weaknesses, your flaws, your character than trying to do this. And you got to jump in. All right. I know you guys are in the chats, but I want to get into some of this chart stuff. Profit share on a $2 million account, I think it's 80%. I think you can get up to 85% at one point, but Bespoke is 80%. On a $2 million account, 1% is $20,000. So a 5% on a $20 million account is $100K. And so your profit split would be $80,000 if you made 5% in a payout on a $2 million funded account. Not too shabby. What's up, Jordy? Glad you guys are here, man. All right, so let's jump into some analysis here and see what we said was going to happen last week and how that played out last week on Monday right here. We were expecting still a bullish dollar because of the PD arrays that lay ahead of us. We had a couple of fair value gaps on the daily time frame that price was drawing to. We have an optimal trade entry OTE on this last dealing range from this high to this low. So we were expecting price to reach up into this fair value gap. That was our objective. It did it on Thursday, and then it went above it, and you can see what it did on Friday. So where are we at right now? Are these fair value gaps now going to invert and act as resistance and keep this dollar bullish? Maybe. You can see we've just been on a massive straight run up, basically. So I am still a little bit bullish on the dollar, and mostly because we have this small little volume imbalance right here on the dollar that we just touched on Friday. And so this would be the top end range of the OTE area. So we'll see if it's able to get back up there. Right now, I'm more neutral than anything, quite honestly. I don't have a strong bias for the dollar right now. I probably lean bullish, but I'm not like I'm bullish dollar. It's more like I'm bullish dollar. So we're just gonna watch and wait and see. When I don't have a strong bias, I will tend to be even more hesitant in wanting to participate in the market. So that's kind of my initial bullish draw on the dollar, and perhaps because also here's the other things that are going in my head for this week. We're closing out the month of May. And you can see on the monthly chart, we're very near the high of the month of May. And if you're familiar at all with how candles print, there's an open, a low, a high, and a close. And candles typically don't just leave no wicks on these larger time frames. This wick right here, there's one right here. April of 2022, we got a no wick. There's a small little wick there. There may actually be one if I zoomed in, but you can see like candles leave wicks everywhere they go. So we know that price, and let's see, today's the 29th, so we have Wednesday's the last day. So the chances that this thing closes out and closes at its high on Wednesday are, in my mind, that's a fairly low probability that the monthly candle is going to close at its extreme high. So in light of that, and in light of June opening, I'm more neutral I'm just more neutral overall. That doesn't mean we won't find an A plus setup, but we will be more cautious. I will be more cautious. I keep saying we. I don't know what you're going to do. I'm just telling you how I'm thinking about this. I'm going to be more cautious as I look to find good trade setups here. Last week we were very fortunate. There was an A plus setup every single day last week, and we took every single one of them. The first three were all break even trades, and then we had two winners to close out the week. It was kind of frustrating getting those break evens, but that's how our trading system and strategy works. I'm looking at I'll keep bouncing in here to the chats. High of the month. Yeah, it could have been. I mean, it could have been really. I mean, you tapped up into the top end of that OTE. You did touch that volume imbalance over here on the daily time frame. You're into this daily order block right here. This is a daily order block. That price is currently right about the 50% line of that order block. And, it's going to be interesting to see how this fair value gap, does it get traded back down into. You now have some daily areas below price here on the dollar with some fair value gaps and some volume imbalances. So, trying to identify where the draw on liquidity is going to be. That's what that's one of the main things that we're trying to do is once we can identify what's the draw on liquidity, then we can try to get in line with those setups that are moving towards those liquidity draws. So this is why I'm still slightly bullish, is that little volume imbalance right there on the dollar. If we trade back below this fair value gap and hold it, then I would expect maybe a retrace from this big leg down. With all of the debt ceiling news and how that's going to affect future interest rates and liquidity and all the other things going on, I don't know that we're going to find anything really good here at the end of the month and the start of the month as they overlap in the middle of the week. So we're going to be patient. Venator trading. Venator means, it's Latin for hunter. And that's what I really feel like I'm doing. I'm hunting. I'm walking into the woods of the market and I'm trying to take down that trophy buck every day. I want to see one trophy buck step into my shooting lane so I can take him down. And if he doesn't get exactly where I want him to be to take my clean shot, I'm not going to take it. And so when you're in the woods hunting, you're quiet, you're still, you're patient, you're just watching and enjoying being in the woods, and you don't have a shotgun that is just randomly spraying when a twig snaps over here or there's a rustle of leaves over here, hoping you hit something. You know exactly what you're looking for. You know exactly where and when you want it to appear, and when it does, you take your shot. And that's how I approach the trading when I sit down. When I sit down to trade, I'm more confident that I won't see my setup than I will. And until you can be okay sitting down at the charts, knowing and thinking, I'm not going to take a trade today, I'm just going to enjoy watching the market deliver price. Because there is a beauty in the way the market delivers price. Absolutely beautiful. And the more you enjoy that beauty, the more you begin to see how it moves. You kind of get into that flow state, so to speak. And when your setup shows up, it is just like a beacon in the night, shining a light on, here I am. And you just take it. Hunter. Who's Hunter? Hey, Hunter, what's your actual name? Oh, are you talking about me, Hunter? Venator. My My government given name is Brad. B-R-A-D. Brad. Not Bradley, not Bradford, just Brad. I don't know why my mom cut it short. I guess she figured everyone would cut it short the rest of my life anyway, so she just called me Brad. All right, so that's here we are on the dollar. We're still inside all of Friday's range right now, and again, because it's a holiday, I'm just not expecting price to do much of anything. We dropped down here to the 4-hour. It's just done a whole lot of nothing here on the dollar. It's just going to engineer. So when you get days like this, the nice thing about days like this, a lot of people get frustrated with, oh my God, the market's not moving. It's just moving sideways. You know what it's doing? It's engineering liquidity. On days like this, when it moves like this, it's engineering liquidity. It's just going to move around and start creating equal highs and equal lows. And it's just going to carve out a little range. And then it's going to show you where it wants to go. And that's when you want to participate. That's when you want to take your capital and use it to leverage the movements in the market. So yeah, I don't, there's just not happening much here in the dollar. Again, this is where that daily liquidity void is right above us. We just touched it, so it's still got a little room to go up here if it wanted to before it turned around and made a little bit of a bearish push back into rebalance some of these more aggressive moves up, these imbalances down here, and some volume imbalances. So that's how we are on the dollar. Let's jump over to euro dollar. What a great trade we ended up getting at the end of the week yesterday. This is where we passed our phase 2 on this trade right here. We had, here's your A+ setup. I can't remember who was asking earlier, what's an A+ setup? Let me tell you exactly what an A+ setup looked like. I called this live. This is not replay. I'm just showing you what happened in the moment. All right. This is on the 15-minute time frame. I got to the chart. Let's see, so this is where I got to the chart right here. Okay. 7 a.m. And I immediately, because we were still bearish on euro dollar last week, I was wanting to, we had engineered all of this amazing, beautiful relative equal highs here. And we were trading back into an order block up here and a weekly volume imbalance up here. And so I wanted to see buy side liquidity get run and grabbed, which it was doing as I got onto the charts at 7 a.m. on Friday. There are relative equal highs right here. And again, this is the weekly volume imbalance or fair value gap. I can't remember. I have to go back and look at the higher time frame. But this was where we were expecting price to maybe for sure grab this. And then we wanted to see if it would reach up this high above these equal highs and rebalance some of this fair value gap right here. This is a 15-minute breaker. These two candles together. So you have two down candles. You grabbed a liquidity, you made a new swing high, and then you had displacement below with a fair value gap. That was an A+ setup. So we were anticipating, again, run this liquidity back up into this breaker and this fair value gap. And then we just waited. So this is 7 a.m., okay? And there's news coming out at 8:30. And so we were like, we're probably not going to do anything until after the news hits. So at 7:30, here comes the news right there. So an hour and a half after we got on the stream, 90 minutes, we sat here and talked about what we wanted to see price do. We dropped down to the 5 minute. After we saw the displacement, we said we want to see a buy side liquidity run. We want to see displacement away from the liquidity grab that is in line with our bias, which was bearish. So we had a buy side liquidity run. We had displacement away from that buy side liquidity run in the direction of our bias. And while this trade was setting up, this is a 5 minute breaker block right here. This last down candle right here, right there, is a breaker. It runs liquidity. We don't get another run higher. This is the last down candle before liquidity was run. That's your breaker. You get displacement through it, leaving a fair value gap inside of your breaker block. That's an A+ setup for me. That's my A+ setup. Every single one of these trades that we've taken has been the exact same thing. There has been I have not wavered on anything. This is the setup that I passed phase 1 and phase 2 in 13 trading days with 1 loss. So we waited. We set our entry as price was coming down. We set our entry right here, about halfway. I wanted to see it take you could have set it right here at the breaker, but because of the huge displacement down, I wanted to see it dig a little bit deeper into this fair value gap. And my stop was placed just above the body of the candle that created the fair value gap. And then we waited. So we did not want to see, this was our target, initial target. We only do 1 to 2.2. You'll see my risk reward ratio here is 2.2. I do 2.2. It's usually 2.1 to 2.2 because I want a true 1 to 2. If you just do a flat 1 to 2, well, you're not covering your commissions and spreads that the brokers are taking out. And so it chips away. It's just a vanity thing for me. I want a true 1 to 2. And so that means I have to go a little bit past 1 to 2 to get to cover the cost of doing business, basically. We were expecting price to come down to this sell side liquidity draw. And so as price moved forward, we were like, oh man, it looks like it's going to hit our liquidity draw before it gives us an entry. But price began pulling back. These are 5 minute candles. And remember, it's now almost 9 o'clock. We've been on the stream for 2 hours at this point. We've identified our setup. This is what hunting looks like, y'all. This is how you pass challenges. You wait and you be patient. If price does not come to the entry that you want, if that buck doesn't get into your shooting lane, you don't have a shot. And it's fine. We were like, oh, well, maybe we're going to get an entry. It's probably going to get at least up to that fair value gap. Taps us in. Gets into a little bit of drawdown. I'm not worried about that. Again, I'm only wrong if it takes out the body of this candle. And then we immediately, after getting in, it starts moving our direction. Our break-even point is 1.5R. When price moves 1.5R in our favor, we move our stop to slightly into profits, again, to cover our commissions and spreads. Price starts moving in. This is all called out on Twitter. You can go back on Twitter and see every one of these trades. We move to break even, and we hit our take profit. Now, I didn't need all of this. I passed right here on this down candle. That's all I needed. I needed $100, which I risk 2% per trade. So I'm risking $200 on a 10K account per trade. So this red box is 2% risk. I need half of that. Half of that is $100. Okay, I needed I needed to make $100 to pass my phase 2. It was a little less than $100. It was like $89 or something like that. I can't remember exact. Go watch the stream. So I just needed price to move in my favor just below, back below that breaker, this breaker right here. And as soon as it did, I passed my challenge right there. And, but you can see this trade did end up just smash and take profit. And it ended up actually coming down and making a new low of the week. But I don't care about that. I got my low hanging fruit. I ate, I got funded. Don't give a crap what it does after that. I close my charts and I walk away. And I know I'm going to come back tomorrow and I'm going to look for another juicy apple hanging on a little low hanging branch that I can just reach up and grab. That's all I'm trying to do. And that's all you should be trying to do. Don't be trying to go for these 1 to 5s, these 1 to 4s, whatever. All right, here we are on the euro. I'm going to get rid of this stuff. I'm just going to turn off all of this so we can kind of see what's going on here on the euro before we do that. Any other questions? Should there be a breaker plus a gap, or just one can do? Just one can do. But again, if you're asking what I'm looking for, I want both of them to be there. That's my preference. You get that displacement through a breaker block, and then you get your entry there. And it happened 5 times last week. That's not every week. This week, it may happen twice. It may not happen at all. I don't know. I don't know what the market's gonna do. I don't care. But I come here every day and I watch it, and I just love watching candles print. I love watching it. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. One of the most beautiful things in the world to me. So again, the euro dollar is basically the opposite of the DXY chart. We have a volume imbalance just below that we did not reach into. You remember on the dollar, we have a volume imbalance right here that we did reach into, but the euro has a volume imbalance that it hasn't touched yet. So still slightly bearish there. We're still inside Friday's trading range. I don't know that we're going to get out of it today. Initially you would think, hey, they reached a deal on debt. It's going to be bad for the dollar, good for the markets. The thing hasn't passed. And word here in the States is that the kind of the right wing of the Republican Party is not happy with the deal, and they're going to vote to not pass it because they're not going to get everything they want in it, which means they're going to have to get a bunch of Democrats on board to pass it. And are they going to really want to pass a Republican bill? That's a sour taste in their mouth. It's just stupid politics, and it's dumb. And again, it's just not cool. Here's what I see on euro dollar. You have a fair value gap right here that we haven't reached into. We just tapped into it on Friday. You have a volume imbalance also right here that we haven't tapped into. So this kind of aligns with my slightly bullish dollar viewpoint. If the euro is going to continue to be bearish, these are where your draws on liquidity would be. You kind of have relative equal lows on this daily candle and Friday's daily candle, so that's going to represent sell side liquidity. You have a volume imbalance with a fair value gap, and you have now reached the OTE level on euro dollar for this big run up. So you've had a healthy retracement all the way back inside here. So it could come a little bit lower, but we're just going to watch and wait, and we're going to see where is our draw on liquidity. That's what we're trying to identify. And currently you can see it's just engineering liquidity. There is no again, it's a bank holiday. The likelihood that we're going to find a trade that is A plus primo trophy buck setup, quite honestly, pretty low today. I do not have high hopes that we're going to find that. But we'll stay on here for a little while and see. But then I am going to enjoy my day off as well. Hang out with the wife by the pool. Drink a adult beverage. And yeah, just going to have dinner with some friends later tonight. That's what my Memorial Day looks like. Well, that's where we're waiting, man. You can see overnight, this is the London high. And we made a high on London, and we've just fallen off. We've left behind several. We have a big imbalance up here off of this 3 a.m. candle. There's liquidity up here again at this void. They're engineering liquidity below us. We just took out a little liquidity here, and we're heading back up. I'm inclined not to do anything, at least for, if anything's going to happen, it would be probably after 8:30 New York time. Daniel, yes, I'm always risking 2% per position. It's a game of probabilities, and I know what my win rate is, and I know what these high probability setups do. And my data on my system says I'm not going to lose 5 or 6 trades in a row. I'm not saying it can't happen. It can. But it's extremely unlikely if I'm only taking my A+ setups. I do not trade only euro dollar. I trade pound dollar, I trade gold, and I trade US 30. And we're going to get to those charts here in just a minute. I'm just kind of walking through everything. It is a very slow morning in the markets. It's a very calm ocean. It is a quiet forest. There's nothing moving. Everything is just peaceful and calm. Pound dollar. Let's look at the pound dollar here. We had a couple good trades in pound dollar. Most of phase 1 was GBP, and most of phase 2 was euro. And we didn't take any trades on gold or US 30. US 30 has been absolute crap the last 2 weeks. It has, until Friday, it had not done anything. It'd been stuck inside this horrible, ugly, nasty range. Gold, I had some setups identified, but it never came up to my draw on liquidity. So we didn't have any gold entries. Our entries were all GBP and euro. So here we are on pound. We have reached our price objective. There is one more drawn liquidity down here that if we're going to remain bearish, that's our first initial target on this daily time frame. You've got relative equal lows from Thursday and Friday. That could also be a drawn liquidity. And this daily candle currently has no wick on it. And no wick candles are draws on liquidity. The market does not like to leave candles behind that have no wicks. See right here? This little candle, no wick, comes up. It's like, no. We want to go higher, but we're going to grab that. Also right here. No. It may take a couple days, but that's where your draw on liquidity is. Currently, we have no wick on our daily candle for pound. But we're moving sideways. We're going to want to see some type of liquidity run and then displacement below. This was just a beautiful reaction off of these relative equal highs and this 30-minute fair value gap. Gosh, that was just, I did not take that trade. I think there was a setup, if I remember. Yeah, right here on the 15 minute. You have this candle right here is your breaker block. Let me zoom in on that so you guys can see this better. This down close candle was your last down close candle before you had a run on liquidity, relative equal highs above here and here, and into a 30-minute fair value gap. Okay, so you have engineered liquidity with a fair value gap just above it. So our drawn liquidity, we were bearish, so we wanted to see price run buy side liquidity, give us displacement in our favor. And this was Friday, so this was the same trade idea that we saw in euro. This was just the pound played out exactly the same. You had a 15-minute breaker. Ours played out on the 5-minute on the euro. We played it out here on the pound on 15. It grabbed liquidity, displacement, fair value gap, breaker block, came all the way back up, touched that breaker inside that fair value gap. Easy money. Easy money. So here we are on our 15-minute time frame. You can see overnight we had all this liquidity right here. We had a run up. We had displacement down. Here is your breaker block right here. This is the last down candle before we run liquidity and we get displacement back down. Now, there's not a really clean fair value gap here on the 15-minute. There's one below it, and it has respected it. I prefer to see a fair value gap in line with that breaker for an entry. So, but there's not a huge sell side drawn liquidity down here that would have also not interested me. I would have passed on if I was going to take this trade, if I was going to trade this off of this London grab here on this Monday. This is not an A+ setup. This is a trader walking into the market and going, oh, that's a breaker block, I'm going to trade it. My entry probably would have been about halfway into that breaker, bare minimum on the body of that breaker. And I would have put my stop above the highest fair value gap, which is up here. So that's 13 pips. And to get my TP, there's some liquidity down here for it to draw on. So it's not horrible. It's just not an A+ setup for me. Because we're likely just to engineer liquidity all day today, it very well could just seek and destroy both sides. But that's not an A+ setup. But that is a valid breaker block. It is a true valid breaker block on the 15-minute time frame. You have down close candles that initiate a run on buy stops, and then you have displacement away closing below that breaker block there. Valid breaker block, just does not fit my A+ setup. Jump back over here, see if there's any questions. Mohammed, man, haven't seen you in a while. Where you been? You just haven't been in the chat. Maybe you've been watching. Yeah, channel is starting to grow a little bit. Super grateful for that. And glad people are watching, and hopefully people can learn how to do this. And for all the new viewers that are coming in, the chances that we're going to take 5 trades in a week like we did last week are very low. So if you're a new trader and you're trying to pass a challenge and you're trying to do it in 1 week, I'm probably not the guy you want to watch, because I'm That's not how you pass challenges. That's not how you get funded. That's gambling. And unless you have an A plus setup that gives you every day 3 or 4 trades every day, I don't know what that setup is. And I've tried them all: support and resistance. I've used indicators. I've used smart money concepts. I've used Wyckoff. I have used market structure. I've used it all, every bit of it. And it's not the strategy. It's not how you define what your perfect setup is. It's all about your unwillingness to be patient and wait for the premium setups to appear. Why in the world would you put your capital at risk in a less than ideal environment for you to leverage it to your greatest potential? Why would you do that? Because you're greedy. And until you stop being greedy and you stop getting dollar signs out of your eyes, you're not going to be able to pass these challenges. You've got to go slow. You have got to wait and be patient. Join trade. Daniel, were you on Twitter yesterday asking me about all this? Are you the same guy where we're getting into that conversation? You don't mind that you only have 5 tries? I do not. Not at all. Because I know my system and I know my data. I know what my A plus setup is, and I know I'm not going to take a trade unless it's an A plus setup. And I know while I say you only need a 50% win rate, my win rate is higher than 50%. So if I were to lose 4 trades in a row, that would take me down to 8%. Right then, I would reduce my risk to 1% and give myself 2 more chances. And if I lose 6 trades in a row, then I need to stop trading for a good while and go back and figure out how I screwed up so bad to lose 6 trades in a row. So that's how I approach. I can understand your fear of thinking, oh, I can only lose 5 in a row, and then I've got to start this whole thing over. I understand that. I lived with that so long because I lost way more than I won. And so I was constantly thinking of trading in terms of losing, and I just had the wrong mindset. When you operate out of fear and when you trade out of fear, you're more than likely going to subconsciously live into seeing that fear become your reality. And that's just part of the psychology of it all, man. It does not bother me at all knowing that I could lose 5 trades in a row, 6 trades in a row. For me to lose an account, I would have to lose 6 trades in a row. It is statistically possible. Absolutely. You can put it in your programs. You can put it in your simulators. But the simulator doesn't take into account how I trade. The simulator doesn't take into account how I see price move. The simulator doesn't take into account what my winning rate is and how I manage risk and when and how I decide to trade. That can't be put into a simulator to give you an estimate of what this strategy will do. So it does not bother me at all. Yep, Trophy Buck Trader. I like it. Yeah, there is relationship between DXY and all the indices. Spider, there is definitely the dollar is the move is the asset in which people, well, currently it may change, but it's currently the asset in which people find safety. And I know that doesn't make sense because the U.S. GDP, we currently are way in over our head in debt, but it is the strongest economy in the world. It really is. It's the greatest country in the world, and I know there's people here from all the countries. I love America. There's nothing else like it. And for all its faults, it is still, to me, the best place and best opportunity to achieve everything that you want to achieve. But that was a tangent. The dollar. The dollar is a safe haven. So when people are rushing into the dollar, typically they're coming out of the markets. They're coming out of S&P. They're coming out of US 30 and NAS. So typically when you see the dollar being bullish, you're going to see the market coming down. But when they're moving together, it just does not create an ideal trade setup because there's no correlation. Usually they correlate opposite. When the dollar's rising, that means that there's a risk off in the markets. It means people are trying to get their money out of a market where there's uncertainty and put it into an asset where they feel more certain about, in this case, the dollar. And so when they move money out of the markets and they put it into the dollar, that's why you would see the dollar rise and the markets go lower. But that doesn't always happen, and it hasn't been happening like that recently. They've been moving together, or the dollar's been rising and the market really hasn't been dropping. It's been moving kind of sideways, and NAS has actually even been going higher. So they're not moving in correlation, which is causing, if you look at US 30 here, it had been stuck until last week. It had been stuck in this nasty sideways. This is a daily chart, okay? This is a daily chart. Look at this range. We made this range right here, and then for over 2 weeks, we just sat inside this. There is nothing happening in US 30. Nothing at all. We finally popped through, grabbed liquidity, and now we're displacing back inside that range. You see the gap up. This gap up is due to the news that we've reached a debt limit deal, a debt ceiling limit deal, and so you've seen the market gap up, leaving behind this volume imbalance here. It opened all the way up here, closed here on Friday, opens here today. And you can see it's just dropped back down. It hasn't even gotten back down to Friday's close yet. So it still has some room to go down further. But as long as it's inside here, I really don't even want to touch it. I don't want to look at it. All it's done is grab liquidity and pop back inside the range. So it did not respect this fair value gap right here. This daily didn't respect this daily fair value gap, and it didn't respect this daily fair value gap. This is technically a bearish order block. These two up candles here, these are together would form a daily order block. Excuse me. And then, if it displaces above that, then you would have a daily breaker headed in, and then you would be a bull run for the US 30. And that could happen. But currently, if it's going to be bearish, you can see it reached all the way back down and filled in all of this imbalance over here and reached into this final imbalance into this daily order block here. Touched the wick, and it's reversed Thursday and then bullish Friday. And now we're here, gap it up over the weekend from the news. And now we have a bank holiday, and so it's not going to do much. I would expect tomorrow you see a full closure of that gap, and then I don't know where it's going to go from there. It's got to show me more before I want to get involved with the US 30. What's up, Nan? Welcome to the stream, buddy. Gold, we can take a look at as well. Last week, I was really wanting, where is it? Let me see if I can find it. I really wanted this before this happened. This was my setup on gold last week. We had incredible sell side liquidity. This was our big draw on gold, and so we still haven't hit it. So there's a chance that we might get a beautiful gold setup as we engineer liquidity today and tomorrow. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday we might get a great setup on gold here. This is still the draw on liquidity, and it left it in place from last week. And I'll show you where that is, why this is our draw on liquidity here. It's taken out a bunch. This is where I was, and I would anticipate it coming down to at least into there. But I really wanted it to come up and grab this buy side liquidity. We had these relative equal highs into this fair value gap. I wanted to see it run that liquidity before we got that huge drop. And we just did not. This is one of those instances where price does not do what you are anticipating it to do. We didn't chase price, and I don't care that it didn't come up there. I don't care that I quote unquote missed a trade. You can't miss trades. You can only take them or not take them. The market is literally here every day printing candles. It's creating liquidity. It's going to run liquidity. It's going to give you a breaker block. And if it's in line with your bias, then you should take it. For me. But yeah, we're going to engineer liquidity here. We've got sell side below. Got a little bit up here. Not really clear yet. Besides a trend line. Retail's going to see a trend line here. Holding on gold. So that does represent, anytime you can see trend lines or relative equal highs, those are all, that's all liquidity that the market's going to use to move in the direction it wants. So any run, any good solid run, and it may still come back up here to these relative equal highs before we try to tag this. So those are still valid. They hasn't been touched. So we'll see what happens. Not in any rush for any of this right now. Yeah, we're just nothing really cooking anywhere. Nothing that I would want to see. The only yeah, I see nothing that makes me want to get excited or think we should put our money on the line. There's nothing. And if you think you see something that fits your setup, that's up to you. I'm not here to convince you to trade the way I trade. I'm not here to convince you to take positions that I trade. These are all demo accounts. This is not financial advice because these are everyone here is just paper trading. Even though I have a 10K funded account, which I need to check and even see if they've sent me my credentials yet this morning. I do have one email. Let's see. Nope. Still nothing from Bespoke. It's unfortunate. I got in there. I did put a message in Discord. Let me see if they answered me on Discord here real quick. It will take up to 24 hours. Okay, so my message in Discord was I asked their mods. I said, how long after deal account is verified and contract signed are credentials sent out? And it says it will take up to 24 hours. That means I should get my account credentials here sometime before lunch, which is fine. That'll still give me plenty of opportunity to take a micro lot trade on this 10K funded account and get the clock ticking for that 14-day payout. All right, I can get off Discord here. Um, I'll keep all the stats and everything right here, and I'll keep our current funding as we grow this thing. It'll all be up here. I'm not sure. I'm not a professional streamer, so I don't. There's probably a better way to make this thing look better. Uh, Maybe I'll work on that a little bit. I'm not really an aesthetics guy as far as like I just want to give people the bare bones and the basics of what's happening. And I know my camera keeps going in and out of focus. Again, I don't know how to fix that. All right. Uh I don't have much more going on right now. We've been streaming for about an hour and 20 minutes. I'll stay on until the New York market opens at 8:30 here. But again, I'm just not anticipating very much to happen. If we get some big pushes between 8:30 and 9, maybe we'll see. But it would need to come back up and it'd need to show me something pretty clear. We've got some nice buy side liquidity here inside of a fair value gap. If we're expecting the euro dollar to be weak, maybe we see a setup that would play out lower, but yeah. Nothing currently. For you guys that are watching, where are you at in your trading stuff over in the chat? Man, pop in. I'd love to hear. Are you in a challenge? Are you funded? Are you in drawdown? What is it? Where are you at right now? So I kind of get a vibe of who's watching and what we could cover. Like in a slow day like today. Not every day's like this. If you go back and watch my streams, when we find setups, we're moving and things are happening. But like I said, that's not an everyday. That's not an everyday thing. Yeah, Ahmad, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Glad to have all the viewers, extra viewers here today. And guys, hey, listen, man, I'd appreciate it if you're getting value out of this and it's being helpful. If you could like, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And if you don't follow me on Twitter, jump over there at Venator Trading and follow me there, because there are times when there's no trade setups that happen while I'm streaming, but I continue to watch the charts when I get off the stream, and I will post entries that I'm taking on Twitter. I will put the exact entry, the exact stop loss, the exact take profit. I will put a screenshot. I will show exactly what I'm doing, either on the stream or on Twitter. So if you are finding some value here, and it helps out the channel, it helps push it out to other people that might need some help too. We're doing this all here for free, just trying to help guys that are struggling to pass these challenges, how to get them over the finish line. So AB for Beeswax, 10K challenge for 2 weeks. Taking one trade. It was a loser. Wish I had found your stream earlier. How much did you risk on that one trade? Are you in serious drawdown off of one trade? 0.5%. That's you're fine, man. And the fact that you've only taken one trade in 2 weeks, that's huge. That's half the battle right there. Now, are you not taking more trades because you're scared to lose again? Are you not taking more trades because you haven't seen your A plus setup? Are you not taking trades because you don't even know what your A plus setup is? Why have you only taken one trade in 2 weeks? Guys, if you want to ask questions in here, I will talk to you. I promise you, I want to help. I am not a psychologist. I'm not even a full-time day trader, okay? I'm trying to do the same thing that you're doing, where I don't have to do anything but trade for a living. I'm not there yet, but I'm a lot further along than most people, and maybe by the end of this year we'll be there. But ask questions in there. I would love to help more of you guys get funded, man. I really would. I know the struggle that I went through trying to figure out how to do this. I'm surprised I'm still here. Quite for not like here physically on the planet, but like here trading. But I love this business. I love sitting at the charts. I've fallen in love with trading, and so you can only fail if you quit and walk away. That's it. But I'm kind of surprised I'm still here. But I stuck with it, and it just clicks. When it clicks, it clicks, and when you see it, you finally see it. And honestly, once I was able to conquer my own personal demons about how to approach the markets and how to trade and when not to trade, and only taking my A plus setups, that's when everything changed. Everything changed. You can be unprofitable for years, and then in a couple of months, you can make more than you lost in a couple months than you did in years of losing. It's worth fighting through the struggle. It's worth it. But it's really up to you, man. You got to decide to do it if you want to do it or not. Full-time job, psychology, don't have an A+ setup, jumping from strategy to strategy. Well, you can't do anything about the full-time job. The full-time job, we all have them. I have one. Unless you're a trust fund baby and independently wealthy already, which probably none of us are, which is why we're sitting here trying to trade. You can't do anything about the full-time job, but you can. Everything else that you listed off of there is completely changeable and correctable. There's nothing else in that list that is too big of a hill to climb. Your psychology, it can be fixed. You don't have an A+ setup. Use mine. I just gave you one this morning on the live stream. I explained exactly what it is. If you stick around and watch these streams every day, you'll know it inside and out, just like I do. Jumping from strategy to strategy, quit it. It's not the strategy that's keeping you from failing. It's your execution. It's your mindset. It's your fear. It's your FOMO. It's your greed. It's all of these things that's keeping you from finding success here. And if you're not going to be serious about it, then you need to stop. That goes for everyone. If you're not going to be serious about it, you need to stop. Yeah, go back, man. I laid it out. I don't know where it was in where I laid out the winning trade here on the euro dollar. I talked through exactly. I replayed from right here, and I talked everyone through on the live stream exactly what this was. An A plus setup that we won on Friday. It passed my phase 2 challenge. I talked everyone through exactly why this was an A plus setup and why we took that trade. 1 to 2, easy money on that trade right there. So go back, watch it. Maybe what I'll do is even just go in and pull that out and put that up as a short YouTube video, that a picture of what my A plus setup looked like and why I took it. But yeah, go check it out. There's a setup for you. But you don't have to use mine, man. I'm not trying to convince you to use this strategy. This is not the best strategy in the world. There are millionaires that have made money trading off of moving averages. There are millionaires that have made money off of support and resistance, off of market structure, off of Elliott wave, off of counting candles. Well, probably not counting candles, but trading candlestick patterns like shooting stars and dojis, Bollinger Bands, MACD divergence. Like, there are guys that have made millions of dollars off of every one of these strategies, and it's not the strategy. It's all right here. It's all right here. And mostly what's going on up between your heads. Not being able to be patient. Thinking that you can just get in and get a quick win and make it all and fix all your problems. The worst thing a new trader can do, is get lucky. That is the absolute worst thing someone who's struggling can do, is get lucky. All it does is prolong the inevitable failure that you're going to experience. All right, we're coming in about 4 minutes here until the 8:30 hour. We'll see if we get any kind of movement. There's no news dropping today. One of the things I like to do is read the headlines. I don't trade the news, but I read them because I think they're funny. Because they're often in great contradiction with each other. Headlines for Eurodollar. European shares slip, but debt ceiling deal buoys U.S. futures. So here's what the saying is. Euro stock market is sucking, but the U.S. futures are going to be good because of the debt ceiling deal. That's Reuters. 2 hours ago on Reuters, dollar nudges lower as U.S. debt ceiling deal dents safe haven appeal. So again, I was talking about the safe haven. The dollar is a safe haven for people, and if they think the market's going to be bad, they would go into the dollar. And so the dollar nudges lower as the debt ceiling deal dents its appeal. And then the euro remains close to near 2-month low. It does indeed. Here's your 2-month low right here. Dollar news. Same. Indian rupee ends lower. Forward premium stumble. I have no idea what that means for the dollar. Gold holds at 2-month lows as U.S. debt deal and Fed hike bets way. Yep. If yeah, you can obviously see we're this is the dollar. We're back on the dollar chart here, and you can see that it's engineered liquidity below here on the daily, and it's engineered liquidity above here on the daily. So you are inside of this range. You're just above 50% of this overall range. You're in a premium. So if you're going to expect the dollar to roll over, I would. I mean, if you're bearish dollar, it's in a premium. It's in an OTE. It's inside of a daily order block. There is a small little imbalance just above it here still that we tapped into barely on Friday. It doesn't have to get back up in there. It could just start rolling back over, come down, and rebalance some of this. And if the dollar's going to be bearish, then your pound and your euro, any dollar correlated forex pairs would be bullish. So we got about, well, we just entered the 8:30 hour. We've seen no significant reaction as expected here. With London on bank holiday, with the States on bank holiday, this is just going to be a very choppy. This is just going to engineer liquidity all day. I don't think you're just going to see a trending day where it just starts making massive lows and reaches down into here. It may do this later this week. This is that. Just as a reminder, daily volume imbalance down here. Right here. So I don't know that we're going to be able to get all the way into that. Probably not today. I would be surprised. It can reach down there. I would be surprised personally. I like to be surprised. So it could happen. How long have I been trading? Let's see, 2023. So 4.5 years. 4.5 years. And it's only been in the last year that everything has changed. So for 3.5 years, I sucked. Prop firms made so much money off me, especially if they were reverse trading me. If they were fading me on my challenges, these prop firms would have made a freaking killing. But I'm getting into that stage of my trading career where booking my trades would make more sense. And I'm not saying that out of area. I'm just saying that out of a winning percentage standpoint. That's what profitable traders do. They are consistently winning. How I deal with a losing streak. Well, it's not fun. There's no trader out there that's going to tell you dealing with a losing streak is fun. In the old days, before, I would get angry. I would get sad. I would get depressed. I would think that if I just back tested more, that I could fix this. I would assume that, well, if I'm not spending enough time on the charts. So if I just spend more time on the charts, and I can do this, and I would ultimately change my strategy. I would be like, you know what, this week I'm gonna trade the 1 minute time frame. I'm just gonna take I'm just gonna try and scalp something out real quick and try and make just a little bit back at a time. I mean, I would just jump around from strategy to strategy, and that's not how you get out of a losing streak. The way you get out of a losing streak is by waiting. You have to wait it out. And by waiting, I mean stop trading and make sure you understand what your A+ setup is and exactly looks like. Like, you have to be so clear in your mind that if you don't see the exact thing that you want to see happen, and well, I'll get to that, then you don't take the trade. But that's how you deal with a losing streak, man. You got to wait it out. You got to be patient, and you have to trust your system. You have to trust that this small set of trades is not an indicator that the larger set of 100 trades or 200 trades, those probabilities would play out. And so it's so hard when you're looking right here. If you hold your hand up in front of your face, what can you see? You can see your hand. And that's what a losing streak feels like. You can't see anything else. And so you've got to get perspective. You've got to be able to step back and go, this is just a small subset of trades. If you know that your A plus setup plays out over time, that your edge over a given number of trades and probabilities, you will be profitable, then you have to go, I'm going to trust my system. I'm going to trust my system that this is the edge I have. This is the winning percentage, expected winning percentage that these setups give me. And so if I hit 3 in a row, 4 in a row, then it hurts and it sucks, but it can be overcome. This is the power of risk-reward ratio. If you have a set risk-reward ratio and you stick with it, if you lose 3 trades in a row, and for me to lose 3 trades in a row, that may take 2 weeks because I don't take a trade every day. There are some days I take trades. Like last week, we took a trade every single day, and that is not normal. That is not normal. Today, I don't think I'm going to take a trade. It's not normal to trade every day on this live stream. But I know that because I'm risking 2% per trade and I have an 8% profit target, I have to have 2 in a row. If I win 2 trades in a row, I pass. But I have to lose 6 trades in a row to lose. What's more likely to happen in my system? That I'm going to lose 6 in a row or win 2 in a row? More likely I'm going to win 2 in a row. And if I lose, if all I do is just win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, again, within 4 or 5 trades, I will have passed. If I just win 1, lose 1, back and forth, or lose 1, win 1, lose, whatever it is. If it's just ping pongs back and forth. So that's how you deal with a losing streak. Is it sucks, and you have to look at yourself and tell you you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say it's a losing streak. It sucks. So embrace the suck and go, what am I going to do about it? I'm going to be a better trader. And what does that mean? It means I'm going to sit down the charts and I'm going to be patient and I'm not going to take a trade just because I sat down the charts and I'm in a losing streak and I need to fix it. No, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to freaking wait for that trophy buck to walk out to where I want it to be. And then I'm going to take it down. I'm not trying to feed my family shooting squirrels. I want to go out, take down a trophy buck, come back, and I want my family to feast. That's why I'm patient and I wait. Feel like I always have to find a trade when I sit down to watch a chart, so get discouraged if I go a week without a trade. Yeah, man. You and everybody else. You and everybody else. That's why 90% of traders fail these damn challenges, is because you feel like you have to sit down and take a trade, and you don't. And the best thing that's happened to prop firms in this year in 2023 are no time limits. These firms that are introducing no time limits, it means they actually care about finding people who can trade patiently. These firms that have time limits that make you get a huge percentage amount in just 1 month, they are inducing fear in you. with those rules. They are creating an environment that you are more likely to fail, and they know it because when you put a deadline on reaching a certain percentage profit, you're going to put psychology into a trader's mind that says you need to take a larger risk. Your time's running out. You don't have enough time. You need to put on a bigger risk. That's not the best setup, but you should take it because your time's running out. And look at all the money you're going to make when it pays off. And so it's carrot, they put that carrot out in front of you of all the profits that you can make, and they keep showing you all these payouts that traders are getting. And so you're enticed to buy these challenges, but then you get into this challenge and you're suddenly in an environment that is putting pressure on you to make a large percentage return in a short amount of time. That's not how professional traders trade. And now these firms that have come in, like Bespoke and Maven Trading and Funded Engineer and MyFundedFX, they've removed all time limits. That's in the favor of the trader, not the firm. Having no time limit is all in your favor. It does not make any sense for them if they want to make money off of you failing to remove that time limit. It is totally in favor of the trader. This is how professional traders trade. They don't trade every day. Being a day trader does not mean you sit down and take a trade every day. Being a day trader means you come in and you sit down and you watch the charts, and when your setup is there, which might happen once a week, twice a week, then you take it. And the rest of the time, you enjoy your life. And if it shows up when you're sitting down at the charts during the time that you want to trade, great. And if it doesn't, walk away. It's not worth it to keep buying these challenges and just keep failing them over and over and over again when you could be funded and getting payouts if you would just be patient. Just be patient. Yeah, until first failed challenge was with a time limited prop firm. Almost all of my failed challenges were time limited prop firms. I had over 30 failed challenges. And they've almost every single one of them has been with one of the original prop firm companies. I don't want to bash any of them. They all have good things about them. But I use Bespoke. They're great. They've been great so far. Their spreads are absolutely fantastic. At least on the demo on phase 1 and phase 2, they have been allowed me to get some super tight entries with basically no slippage. I've been super happy with the way their price delivery has been. All right, y'all. It is what is it? It's like 8:45 New York time. We've streamed for about an hour and 45 minutes. It was good to see all of you new traders in here. I'm so glad that you came and watched. I hope that you have learned a little bit, even though we're not going to take a trade right now. I hope that you have learned, and I hope that you'll stick around and understand that this is what trading looks like. Watching, waiting, talking things out, not rushing in to find a mediocre setup and convincing yourself of a trade position. It's patience. Patience. So, I'd appreciate it if you would like it. If you did, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. I'll be posting over there all day today. If a setup happens to come and I'm at the charts, I'll post it on Twitter. But I'll be back here again tomorrow morning, every day, every single day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern, unless I go on vacation, My wife and I are thinking about going on vacation next week to North Carolina. We have a trip semi-scheduled. I'm in Texas, but I'm not sure we're going to do it. I'm not sure. The place that we're thinking about going does not have internet, and that's kind of the beauty of the place that we picked to go to, is that it would be completely disconnected. But with the channel starting to gain some momentum and having my first 14-day payout starting today, if I go next week, it would take out like 4 days of that 14 days payout, and I would really rather document for you all how that goes and try to use every day to trade instead of I can take a vacation later. But haven't decided yet. But I'll be here every day. I'll be here tomorrow, 7 a.m. So come follow along and like, subscribe, do all those things that we do. But man, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your holiday today. Hopefully, if you've got a full-time job, at least here in the States, hopefully you're not working. Hopefully you're enjoying the holiday, the national holiday as well. Get out there, enjoy an adult beverage, find something fun to do, watch TV, play some video games. Like, go do something fun today. Go enjoy yourself. Like, close the frickin' charts and just enjoy life. Go do something fun. So, all right, y'all. We will see you tomorrow. Adios.